So you've been saying all season that you'd rather learn lessons in a win versus a loss. Would you say that this game was the prime example?
I'd say that's a perfect example. And I think Jim would say the same thing. I don't think either team played particularly well, whether it was defensively or whatever. But I think that there's a lot of lessons we can learn in that game, and I would much rather learn the lessons in a win. And so this is another one of those learning, teaching moments that we just have to be better in the moment. And there's a couple different things. I think we have to continue to understand who we are as players, as a team, and what we do well and what we don't do well. And, we're a team that has played very good defense for the most part, and it didn't show up today. And we've run the bases well, and we've, gotten some clutch hits, and we're not a team that launches homers and, or tries to. We're trying to hit the ball low and hard, and then we'll get our homers. AJ wasn't trying to homer in that spot. It was put a good pass on it and a win. And I think that too often we try and get big, we try and do whatever, because that kid was throwing really well early. He has a huge arm. It was like, 93, 95, I guess, maybe touching 6, and then with a real good breaking ball. And I thought we had some good at-bats, but we just have to be better in that. We had an opportunity in the first inning, and Jeremy got a big knock, and then they made a perfect throw to the plate. And, but we just have to be able to slow down in the big spot. And then whether it's on the mound, too, knowing who you are as a pitcher and not trying to do too much. Brent, I thought, battled his butt off tonight. I thought he didn't have his best stuff necessarily. He missed, he was really flying open at times, but he battled and gave us a chance to win. But there's a couple times where he got behind in the count when it looked like he was just trying to throw it too hard, almost like he was trying to match Traver for pitch. And Brent will be 88, 92, and he won't be 93, 96. And, just embrace who you are and make your pitches, and everything will be just fine. And, and he did that. And then I think the same thing happened with Kyle. It's kind of, one of the things that makes Kyle Davis as good as he is his ability to mix pitches and throw a bunch of different pitches for strikes. And tonight it looked like he was just trying to strike everybody out in the ninth rather than just get them out. And I think, that was one of the things I talked to him after the game was just, hey, know who you are, remember who you are. I mean, you got a good arm and you have really good stuff, but we don't need to strike everybody out, and we don't really need to strike him out until we get 2 strikes. And so I think that he got behind the count, left some fastballs up over the plate. They got a hit. Then obviously we had the bad error at third, and then, we threw a ball into center field on ball 4, and it made it first and third. So the double play then scores a run rather than then the strikeout ends the game rather than be the winning run. And so we just have to be better in those spots. And maybe the moment got a little bit too big, but we need to be prepared to be in those moments, because if we want to be a postseason team and make a run and do those kind of things, and we're going to have to do that. But I think this was a good step in the right direction to beat a really good team. I mean, we all know that TCU is an excellent team. We know they have an excellent pitching staff, and to beat Tickle and to beat, Traver and those guys who are their mainstays. I mean, we saw their guys. The only guy we didn't see really is Farrell, that are their main guys out of the pen, and I thought we handled ourselves just fine. And so I think that's really good. This weekend is a big test for us going into conference. This week in particular. We had a tough loss at Santa Barbara, and I thought, one of my messages to the team afterwards was, the mark of a great team is how you respond to adversity. I thought we didn't play great. We made a couple mistakes against Santa Barbara, and it cost us in a 3-2 game that we felt like we should have won 2-1. And then today, we blew a lead, and we left a couple runs out there early that we could have got. And if we get those runs, then maybe that 4 in the ninth doesn't matter. But we have to be able to go get those and continue to extend the lead. And obviously it was huge to get that 6th run because it came up big, needing, every bit of it in the ninth. And, and I told Kyle the same thing. I thought that he did what the team did, right? He had that rough inning, and then he put up a couple zeros right after and gave us a chance to win. 3 zeros right after that, and he kind of made a huge at-bat with Odell with the man at third. And, I'm proud of him for the way they battled back, and I'm proud of Kyle for the way he battled back.
What did you see on the last play? I know TCU was calling
Well, I think what happened was, the catcher was at the plate. I don't think anybody was expecting Tickle to be able to catch the ball and throw. I mean, he kind of popped up and threw the plate, and it was like, I've never seen that. And, it was real athletic play, and then I think Timmy kind of slowed up, and then he was, he didn't try to barrel him over. I think they just kind of got caught ball and him at the same time, and I know it wasn't an intentional thing, and the ball was past the catcher by the time, when Timmy got there. I don't think there was any question about that. So, I think it was, there was no intent of anything happening. So,
How about your decision to go with the squeeze there?
well, we just thought it was a good play, and it's first and third, and it gives us some options. We can do that, or we can try for the sac fly, but it keeps us out of a double play. And if it doesn't get down, and let's say they throw us out at the plate, we're still got a guy at second and 2 outs, and see what happens. And we were fortunate. Lacey laid down a pearl, and we have a really good base runner who gets good reads. And I thought Timmy busted hard, and it worked out.
I know after a tough inning like that for Davis in the ninth, to keep him out there, he's had long relief appearances before, but was that kind of the plan to let him work it out?
Well, for me, he's our best guy, and we're in a big game, and we're trying to win this game. I don't know what the situation is going to be like tomorrow. I mean, we might be up by 10, we might be down by 10. So who knows if he'd be even, he won't be up for tomorrow. But even I'm not going to try and, once we got that far, it was just okay, let's go. And then you go as far as you can, and that was going to be the end of it. If we didn't score in the 12th, then Bernardo was going to come out for the 13th, and and he wanted to go back out, but I think for him, and I want to be smart about it. But we were trying to, win the game we can win, and then we'll worry about tomorrow. We got plenty of arms, and that we're confident in, and that we think can get anybody out, and so they're going to need to step up, and someone else is going to have to throw the ninth inning if we have a chance to win the game in the bottom of the ninth, or in the top of the ninth.
How do you think AJ has responded since being moved down to the bottom of the order versus the top?
Well, I think AJ's responded fine. I mean, his back was stiff and sore, and so he missed a couple games, and Bobby was really swinging the bat well, and so it was just a natural move to move Bobby to the top because he's been swinging well, and then you got him and Stubbs 1-2, and they're getting on base all the time, and then that kind of sets the table for Jeremy and Timmy and Dante, who really are guys today. I think out of our hits, I bet they had 90% of them, it seemed like. Which was nice to see because we've eaten the majority of the production out of Stahl and Stubbs over the last couple weeks. So I think AJ's done fine. I think AJ's just wants to be in the lineup. He doesn't care where he hits. It's more about being in the lineup rather than where am I in the lineup.